we're not going to find out if Omar will jump up in my lap. He just ate. I've gone all day. I don't know if anyone can tell, but I got my eyebrows professionally shaped. It's like Alan says on 2.5 Men, choices and freedom when you have money now. I have money. Money can't give me what I really want, but it can give me the little extras that will help me get what I really want. And only my friends know whatever. Well, my enemies might too, but you know what I mean. If you just discover me for the first time, then you'd have to watch quite a few of my videos to know what I really want. But I got my eyebrows professionally shaped. It was $50 plus $10 tip, so $60. And I got a pencil. I've gotten Shiseido pencils before, natural brow pencils, and I paid $20 plus tax. This I paid, you know, a little bit more, $25 with, you know, I mean, 20, and I love it, you know, so I won't be able to get them the way she did. But, it's alright. I wanted them shaped. I'm sure I'll go back. I liked them there. I'm fond of saying I don't. The vices that eat up other people's funds, you know. I mean, forget about sex. Only people like Charlie can afford to pay for sex, you know, Charlie on 2.5 Men. Or Charlie in real life too, apparently. I don't know, whatever. But drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol, those kinds of things eat up people's funds. I don't do that, you know, so I splurge on clothes and makeup and, you know, and I didn't even do that for all this time. I didn't even get my brows waxed, didn't do anything, but wax is apparently not good for your brows. I went back in California. I was going to one of those really cheap places. They only charged $5, and then, you know, I gave $1 tip. So, but they sure as fuck didn't look like when you get a professional eye shaping, where she sits in front of you for a half hour and takes a tweezer in each individual hair, you know, and so. Anyway, so I met my friend from the shelter. She's not in the shelter anymore, as I've told you guys. And I was telling her, you know, I told her about you, but like I told her about YouTube, but I only said it like in the past, in passing, you know, almost facetiously or whatnot, because I care about this woman. I don't want her thinking differently of me, okay? So she might think I'm being mysterious or whatnot, but no, you know, I can't tell her about YouTube unless I tell her that I'm gonna tell you guys. I told her today, because in the past I just told her recently, you know, I haven't known her that long, you know, but, Elmer, no! Don't eat it! Oh, it's empty, alright. Don't eat Angel's food. I just got in. I gotta take them for walkies, both of them. What's up with you, anyway? 25 minutes I had you out this morning. I missed my bus, I had to take another later one, missed the train, I had to take a later one, and you didn't even go to the bathroom outside. You didn't even go to the bathroom in the house, though, from what I can see. I don't see cuck anywhere. That doesn't make sense. You gotta, I don't know what happened. You did the cuck dance, and then you didn't even go, and you made Mama late. Although I wasn't late. We had to book it. My friend met me, and then we had to book it to the place, but, anyway, so I was telling her as we were walking, half running over to the place from where I was dropped off, and she was waiting for me. Hi, honey. I love you. I said to her, Oh, in the past, oh, just so you know, what I'd said about YouTube, I've said to her periodically, not that I said, I'm famous out on YouTube, but she's not going to take that seriously. I mean, because she doesn't know, you know what I mean? And being famous out on YouTube doesn't make me famous in quote-unquote real life anyway. It doesn't even put money in my pocket, okay? So, but it means a lot to me. Connecting with people, certain people. Right, Omar? Connecting with certain people. I said to her today, I said, so, some of my fans on YouTube, are, become enamored of me, and they call me a celebrity, some of them, and they I told her about the guy, call me a fallen angel, but she doesn't know about my YouTube, what it means, and she looks at me and she goes, geez, she's like, but she won't directly ask me, I don't blame her, I gotta check out this link, I gotta see your YouTube or whatever, and I didn't comment. She probably wanted me to, but what do I say? Seriously. What the fuck do I say to her? Or, well, I won't even tell any guy I get involved with, if I even get involved with any guy at all, Part of me wishes that I could get involved with a guy who knows about my YouTube, and the other part, no, because that guy, you'll be in the same situation like you were with Donald from your Alicia's World stripping channel, where he knew everything about you and he wound up using it all to hurt you, That's the thing. It's a conundrum. Anyway, friend, shelter friend, good friend. I'm going to pretend I'm thinking about saying this to her, but I'm always scared, I'm going to pretend that you guys are her, okay? This is what I will say, more or less. Okay, ring, tell her on the phone. Do you remember how we met? I was sitting in the toilet and heard you, talking to that girl. I was afraid of you when you first, I was afraid of you. You know that. I've told you. I was afraid of you when you first came here, Remember I told you guys she's the hottest shit black woman, coolest shit, whatever, okay? I was afraid of her. I'm not going to tell you why, because I'm not going to betray her, but I was afraid of her a little bit. And then she's talking to this woman in the bathroom, and I'm sitting there and not flushing, I'm sitting there pretending to go to the bathroom, and listening, because she's talking so brutally, just unbelievable, blew my mind. And I'm not the type to ever reach out to anybody on my own, but I just had to, it really hit home a lot of things she was saying, and I reached out to her afterwards. I said, I was, you were talking, I could hear everything you were saying. She said, that's okay, she's like, I knew that some of I wasn't worried about it, I don't care. And I'm like, oh, and, blah, 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 whatever. So I can say to her something like, you remember that? How you were talking in the bathroom, and that's how we became friends, because I reached out to you. Otherwise we would never become friends had you not been talking so openly and honestly to that woman, your friend, in the bathroom, and had I not been there to eavesdrop. But I wasn't eavesdropping, because I told her, you can't, people are going to hear you it's not my fault. That's what I was saying to her. If I hear you, because I'm sitting taking go in the bathroom, and then you start talking openly and honestly, I'm going to hear you. You don't have much privacy in those shelters. Anyway, I'm sure that's an understatement, but so, well, what I do out on YouTube, Tabitha, changed her name like I change everybody's name, obviously, except mine and Omar's, and my mom's dog's, Angel. Don't have to change the dog's names. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't change Donald's name either, my abuser. I don't owe him any kind of protection. And the only fucking reason I change the names of my family members is because trying to protect my mom or don't want this to come out in the open. If I can't be famous in real life, then this all doesn't need to be known by my family, because they're not going to think, you know, they're just another thing to put me down or whatnot, you know. So it's my private thing, and that's why I changed the names, just because that's what I do. I change all the names. For my name, Dolls, and Omar's and Angels. Anyway, back to my shelter friend. So that's what I do out on YouTube, but on a worldwide scale, okay? I have, you know, fans. I have in various places all over the world, okay? Then we get to the nitty-gritty. And yes, I am planning on saying this to her, because I don't want her to think, you know, I know she was hinting around. She wants to know about my YouTube, and I don't want her to think less of me or think negatively of me, you know? Because the bottom line in all this, like, if I have the courage to say it to her, I'll pretend I'm talking to her. I was planning this in the way, taking all sorts of public transportation home, you know, and I was planning on what I could say to her, and then my mom's cell phone wasn't charged, so, well, Tabitha, here's the deal. I went crazy in 2009, the summer of 2009, just a few months after Donald, you know, left me at the bottom of that hill where he didn't care. He shoved me backward. I was blacked out briefly. I could have been lying there dying. Already dead or lying there dying. He didn't care. I'd spent 7 years, 8 months of my life. You know, so you know about that. Well, you know, and you know my mom got sick just a few months later. Well, right around that time, I'm not going to tell her the name because I don't want her to go searching. I don't want her to know about YouTube until such time arises as I'm ready to reveal it, tell her, you know. But she deserves at least this, to know that I'm not just being secretive or mysterious, or, you know, I'm not. It's because I became famous out on YouTube, Tabitha, because I went crazy and started believing a filthy rich famous rock star was in love with me. I'm going to have her tell her, don't talk until I'm finished, but what? What, are you shitting me, Laura? This is what you're going to say, you shitting me? You believed a rich famous rock star was in love with you? Somebody you'd never met? Yeah, I went crazy. Okay. Can you tell me why? No. Can't tell you why without revealing who. I can tell you guys, but you already know, most of you. Anyway, so she wants to know. I very rarely talk about YouTube, but I just had to tell her about, you know, the fallen angel and the, you know, I don't even say what's the truth. You know, I have these, you know, people, men and women, calling me. I could tell her this too. I would say this. I just don't want to mention Chad Kroeger, you know. And I don't want to mention Chad Kroeger only because she might go and research and find me. That's the thing, you know. I can say to her, like, well, you know, I went crazy. I believed this rock star was in love with me. And then when I found out that he wasn't, I got really, really angry and started spamming all his videos. Understandably so. Understandably, I received backlash from total strangers, calling me delusional, calling me ugly, calling me crazy, telling me to kill myself, etc., etc., etc. So I then had something to prove. I wanted to prove that I wasn't just this crazy, delusional, ugly. Oh, remember too, Tabitha, I weighed about 50 pounds more then, you know. So, of course, people were thinking, what the fuck? Chad Kroeger wouldn't give that woman the time of day. She's cuckoo, she's crazy, you know, whatever. So, I had something to prove, and I set out to prove it. I dropped over 50 pounds in front of both my friends and my enemies' eyes. I shared my life, bared my soul, showed them that I wasn't just this crazy delusional woman who, I told them all about my past, I created videos daily about my daily life and what the hell I was going through with Donald and his mom, okay? Those videos are all on private, but they exist, and that's how I became infamous out on YouTube, Tabitha. And I didn't want to tell you because I don't, you matter to me. I don't want to lose you. And the bottom line is, yeah, the reasons I love you are because you're cool as shit. You're open-minded. You accept me as I am. You don't judge. All this crap. But in the end, you're still, you're unique and you're a little different, but in the end, you're still normal, okay? You're still normal, and you're still grounded in normalcy, and you've been in love, and you know what I mean? You're not where I'm not, and I don't want you to think differently of me, It's not easy to sit there and say, I went crazy in 2009 and believed Chad Kroeger was in love with me. Okay? But you have to understand, Tabitha, these people, certain people, men and women, and the men, praising me and calling me beautiful and making me feel beautiful and desirable and everything, and but some women too, and I have fans who I've had for years now. They've been with me for a long time, but no matter how, all I hear in my head, Tabitha, and we don't know at this point if I'm going to find the strength to do this, because it all centers around, I have to tell her I went crazy and believed a rock star who I'd never met, who wouldn't have given me the time of day, was in love with me because he'd seen me in my head. He'd seen me stripping. He'd seen my Alicia's World that went out all over the planet. He wasn't famous back then. He became one of my fans, but never had the courage to contact me, or maybe he had planned to contact me, but Donald got to me first. Believe me, imagine a little girl here. I've been, and I had it all planned out. I stumbled across Dark Horse songs. I had bought a CD player for the first time in my life. I'd only ever heard Nickelback songs on, mainstream radio there in LA where I was living, and I liked those songs, but it only played mainstream. You're not going to hear something like Something in My Mouth, or Next Contestant, or what's the one? The Way Past the Check, Good Times. Figure You Out. None of those are going to play on mainstream. I'd never heard any of those, ever. I like Nickelback the same way as I liked other groups. I wasn't obsessed with them. I wasn't going investigating every freaking little song out on the YouTube. I never even thought to do it. I just liked the songs when they would play on the radio. I'd get excited, Having Fun Yet, whatever that's called, Saving Me, all them, all the only mainstream played on the radio station starting at 98.7 I was listening to on a regular basis, and never crossed my mind to research further. I was poor. I didn't go out and buy CD players. The time when I was discovering Nickelback, I didn't even have an MP3 player until relatively recently. I just had a Walkman, okay, for a long time. Walkman. And then at one point I got an MP3 player. Donald ordered it for me off of eBay, okay. I just wasn't the type to go and listen. I liked Nickelback for who they were and didn't know any of the other songs. I listened to Dark Horse, and I felt like those songs were just like, so they weren't like other songs I'd heard on the radio or whatnot. They were very specific, a lot of them. But it doesn't matter why you go crazy. You understand? I went crazy. But it wasn't based on total irrationality, because Chakruka could have been one of my fans. And the thing is, my craziness never would have happened had I never had an Alicia's World, you know. And I had been doing different things out on YouTube periodically where I talked about my horrible life with Donald, whatnot, and I started imagining that Chakruka was following me secretly. And all the things fell into place, even Dark Horse. It was released literally 3 weeks after Donald nearly killed me and didn't care. 3 weeks. I mean, that's a coincidence, but to me, nothing was a coincidence. See, the songs sounded like my life. Then, because they sounded so much like my life, I started this fantasy. And then I decided, I had money, you know, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had enough that I was going to buy more Nickelback CDs. And I started listening to more and more and more. I think about it now, and people were trying to tell me, even nicely, that I was crazy, but when you're caught up in a delusion, I'd never had that happen before, by the way. I'd always managed to stay sane and keep my craziness at least unchecked, you know. I've always been a little nuts, but never anything to get me locked up, like my mom's been, unfortunately, sadly, periodically locked up for the past 30 since I was 10, so 34 years of her life. How do I say this to my friend? I don't even know why I told her about YouTube, I guess because I just wanted to just generally tell, I don't know, because I don't want, you know, we're both doing, I don't know, because I get tired of everything being a secret. That's why I told her. It certainly wasn't to brag. I don't not like that. I don't want her to think differently of me. I don't want, you know, the only reason I became famous out on YouTube is because I went crazy. But the only reason I got more and more famous is because I was more than that quote-unquote crazy person, see? And you guys watched me transform in front of your eyes. Even new fans can look at my old videos from ALICIACREATURE 1. You know, my very first videos I created when I was still with Donald. The first two, where I talk about my life and my childhood, Alicia Arol discusses her life and childhood, blah, 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 and then I did one like 7 months later. They were actually not created in 2008 like it says. Donald, I didn't like the negative comments I had out there, and I wanted to be able to censor them, so Donald is a computer genius, probably. He's really literate, really, and he moved my entire channel to a new channel, sans the comments, you know. But in order to do that, I didn't even know you could. He didn't either, but he researched it. You had to, it would be the new date. So this was done still when I was with him, but when it was getting near, approaching the end there. But in any case, the last two that I created just shortly before Donald did what he did to me, where I sing my song Broken. Alicia Arol sings her original song Broken. Come here. Come see Mama.